when the Diamondbacks hired Backman, it was 2004. They bring in a new manager, and at first it was a really sort of exciting time. First of all, Backman was more or less a finalist for two jobs, the Met job and the Diamondbacks job. And the Mets, he was on their sort of radar because he was an ex-Met, but it wasn't really a serious consideration. I think they knew Randolph was going to be their guy. The Diamondbacks come along, and I think you're talking about a team that was popular, did very well, certainly won a World Series, but it had two, in Bob Brenly and in Buck Showalter, had two sort of even keel, not very excitable managers. And I think for a lot of fans, when they heard that Wally Backman was hired, I think it was, I guess the right word. I mean, I think it was a real spark to a team that had kind of gotten boring, and they play in a boring ballpark. They wear boring uniforms. They had boring players at that point. And I think bringing a guy like Wally Backman was actually a very good idea, theoretically. Bring a guy in who you can sell this whole Wally ball image behind. That's what they used to call Wally ball. And our guys are going to charge into second base again. You're going to see clouds of dust, and you could see the marketing potential was limitless. And then they found out that there was a lot of baggage there, and it's they really, truly, truly screwed the guy in myriad ways. I mean, first of all, he'd been in your organization. He was a minor league coach with the Diamondbacks. You should have done that background check when you hired him X years ago. That's the first thing. When you hire someone in your company, you do your background checks. You do your due diligence, whether he's a third base coach in Class A ball or whether he's your manager. You have to know what you're getting. So they never did that. Then they hire him, and they ask if there's anything they should know about him. And he says no. And I think it was actually a fair answer. He got ripped for that. But it was a fair answer because the guy's thinking, well, I've been in your organization. What else do you need to know? I've been here for X number of years. You know everything there is to know about me. Then they uncover the arrest, the domestic assault, DUI, and all of a sudden it's huge news, and all of a sudden Wally Backman. Now it's one thing to have that on your record and just be labeled a guy who had legal problems, but he really was turned into a liar. He was not only labeled a guy who had legal problems, but a guy who denied, fibbed about his background in order to get a job. Say that again?
Just by saying no to the question.
Yeah, he basically, it basically looked like Wally Backman wanted this job so badly that he wasn't willing to admit what he did in the past. It wasn't really true. He was basically saying, you guys know everything about me. I've been working for you for X number of years. What more is there for me to tell you? And also, some of the questions that the Diamondbacks claimed to ask, Backman said they never really asked. And I actually kind of believe him. Because I think when it is true, when you are promoting someone from within, you don't give the same intensive interview that you would give someone from the outside because you do assume that you know them. So I think that really hung the guy out to dry in a major way. I think he's a hire that really should have never happened. If this was an organization, they are very sort of straight-laced, suit and tie sort of organization. And I think Backman probably wasn't the right guy for them, but they should have known that way before they hung this guy out. I mean, he's never going to get another managerial job.
You don't think so?
No, absolutely no chance he will be hired by a major league team to manage. He might get a coaching job, maybe a couple years down the line, maybe.
Major league coaching job?
Maybe. No, major league. He might get a major league coaching job, maybe.